I ain't trying to eat with y'all if you wasn't starving with the team. Back when it was time to go to war, y'all wasn't part of the regime.
The new generation and show them a little something, you heard me? And do some new shit and collaborate and take this shit to the next level. Cause a nigga done did it on one level. That's why I look at my life, though. I done did this shit on one level. I done had the city repping and start that shit. I done had the whole fucking nation on some my juvenile to juvenile shit. I'm like, okay, if I could do that little shit, I got way more better shit than that.
Yeah.
Like, y'all ain't even heard this shit.
Tip of the iceberg, huh?
Man, by the grace of God, bro, I hope y'all get this shit in full effect and really get it, you hear me? Cause I'm about to get this shit my all. 2023, mark my words, you hear me? Y'all about to see this, start that shit on a new level. The real level y'all been supposed to see it, the real me, just coming out my shell, just learn more. Yeah, it's just about to really turn it up a notch. And fucking with the real ones who stood tall and still with a nigga, right or wrong, yeah. We here with it. Type shit.
All right. Would you say how the balance between the two growing up in New Orleans and Atlanta, how has that shaped you to the man you are right now?
It's a blessing, you hear me? Cause if I would have grew up just in New Orleans, I would have been one way. If I would have grew up just in Atlanta, I would have been one way. Could have been good, could have been bad, but like just me knowing who I am, you hear me? I'm a nigga that excel at anything I take a passion to, like so. For like me growing up, my passion was the streets, organized crime, or either music. You hear, music changed my direction, my focus. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in New Orleans, I think it's an average young man's rites of passage that won't be a gangster, won't be a killer, won't have your first gun, your first body, because that's just the lifestyle we live in New Orleans. You hear me? I grew up in the era right after that, for real harsh, murder capital shit, 94. Like I'm a little boy, but I'm feeling the effects. I remember this shit vividly, like growing up, seeing how it was back in that era. That made my mama move out New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So, but what the question was again? Cause I wanted to make another point. What you say it again?
How has the balance growing up?
Yeah,
in
the
Atlanta?
balance. Yeah, so I was saying, back to that. To elaborate more on that, it's like if I'd have been straight here, I probably would have been way more, and I'd probably be dead in jail or have about 30 bodies by now type shit. Not to glorify no cool shit, cause that shit ain't cool, but I'd probably be that type of nigga, cause if I'ma do some shit, I'ma do it all the way. And ain't nothing out shit to do but some street gangs and shit. Niggas ain't really hustling, making no real money in this era. Like back then, probably, I would've probably either been a hustler, or I would've had to get into some other shit, cause that would come with this lifestyle in New Orleans. But growing up in Atlanta saved me, it showed me entrepreneurship. Like I was running a business at like 9, 10 years old. They had a nigga, shout out to David Earl, a nigga from New York. He had a little jewelry store across the street from where we stayed at when we first moved to Atlanta, that little 5 Points. You hear me? Nigga let me used to run a little shop. I'm talking about let me run that bitch, he go home. Just tell me, you know what I'm saying? Tell me how much this shit costs. I'm negotiating the deals and people won't buy shit. Leave his little cut, take my little cut, open shop, close shop. I'm talking about 9, 10 years old running a real business though. Like when I think back, like who the fuck was doing that back in fucking 98? You hear me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was a little boy, you hear me? 9 years old type shit, 10 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit deep. Then I started playing the trumpet, making money.
That's my next question, bro.
Yeah.
That shit crazy. All right, you played the trumpet. Was it in a band?
Yeah, when I was out chill, I went to N.0 in Gertown, the little elementary school. That was like
so it wasn't a band?
Yeah, that was the only school I really went to with a band. Shout out to Mr. N.0. He was the teacher at that time, N.0. You remember? They tore that bitch down me to the police station in Gertown. But like, yeah, I went to that little school. That's why I wanted to do the band. Plus, my daddy, a real famous jazz musician.
The African cowboy.
Exactly. You did your research on some shit.
Regime.
Hey, you doing this shit for real. Shout out to Culture Regime TV. They really do this shit. That what made a nigga reach out to you too. And you know what I'm saying? Then bro fuck my head up. Say, yeah, I remember you to sell the CDs at Cajun and shit. I'm like, damn, nigga, you called it out. Like, yeah, nigga, that shit motivation. Right. But like, yeah, my dad, Earl Turbinson, he was a big saxophone. And
went on tour with B.B. King, Supreme, Temptations. Talk about it.
All that, man. Yeah, like, shit, I'm still finding out this shit. Yeah. Like the song with LaBelle, Pat LaBelle, the Itchy Gitchy, yada, da, that shit there. I forgot how to pronounce the song, but like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, everybody, people sample that shit and everything, but he played the background music on that shit. Then my uncle, Willie T. Wilson Turbinson, Long Live Both on. He got a song called Moment of Truth. That was the sample in that Lil Wayne, the Mob shit. and Meek and Dirk sample that bitch. AIA Litty sample that bitch. Like, I mean, everybody, a lot of people been popping up out with some like hot songs with that little sample. And I'm like, that whole little basis of that song, that beat is that sample. Like, them keys, that oh, Lord, all that shit. That's my uncle. So it's like, damn, that shit deep. Like, that shit in my blood, for real. And my mama, she did the shit. She was a photographer. She used to film all the second lines and all that type of shit. So I was always at the second lines and around that shit and with the camera. So she used to have to fucking develop the film and shit, have a little dark room and developing pictures. So she really was in. That's probably why I get that vision from the like want to do the editing and the filming and angles and lighting and shit like that. Cause I was around all this shit growing up and I'm from New Orleans. So I just wanted to be around the jazz and shit. You feel me? Like fucking trombone shorty. Long little Troy, and I mean not Troy Angel, fucking Trumpet Black. You heard me? The little dude Travis, he died. Where he was about to be, he was a big trumpet player. Like everybody I was around, Shamal Allen, like these niggas became big stars on the jazz tip. Went around the world, played for the presidents and all this type of shit. Like I could have took that route.
You know your daddy got his name, the African Cowboy, because the Ronald Reagan administration, they wanted to cut the federal arts funding.
Yeah.
You knew that?
I read this. I researched this shit too. I found that out. I ain't grow with my dad. Like he originally from the Calio too. By the way, you hear me? Him and his brother. You hear me? My auntie. But like I grew up on my mom's side of the family. You know, so like I can remember like I can really count on how many times I really like spent time with my dad type shit. Early years all the way up to when he died and shit like that. You know, I was closer to him before he died and shit like that. And after he died, you know what I'm saying? Just seeing the impact he had, like Ray Nigga, a lot of people came out to the funeral. So I'm like, damn, this nigga really was somebody type shit. And I'm looking at it like, so all that shit motivation. And I ain't one of them type of bitter niggas be like, fuck him because he wasn't in my life type shit. I respect it for what it is. Like, I probably wouldn't be the nigga I am today. But like, seeing what he did, I'm like, it's not a coincidence I'm probably making the moves I'm making. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in a nigga. Like, I feel like I gotta go further. Like, all the mistakes he probably made, because he did a lot of shit, but he didn't get that commercial success like his like my uncle, Willie, you hear me? Like, he was signed with Atlantic. He had shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Type shit, like, so, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I gotta take it to the next level. Cause they did big shit. Like my uncle was signed with Atlantic way back in the G. You hear me? This the probably the 50s, 60s, 70s type shit. You feel me? So and my dad, you know what I'm saying? He was influential in getting the Jazz Fest started on some shit from what I heard. It did. Like in the beginning stages of it, it did. And I ended up playing the Jazz Fest 2014. You hear me? Shout out to my nigga 5-Star Hero. We got the Mardi Gras song. That's how we did that. You hear me? Yeah.
All right, so like you said, the music is deep and rooted because you know your dad and your uncle and stuff. But like you say, I remember you from Cajuns back in what 09, 010. You was hustling in front.
Fucking right. That's when it started.
In front Cajuns. So like on the music side, you get that from your dad. But where that grind and that hustle come from to get it out the mud? That's something that's innate in you, or like you had to pick that up along the way?
I had to pick it up. I had to like. You know, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, just going over the years, you seeing how other niggas doing this shit and motivating you to want to do this shit. You hear me? Like, I say about fucking, when I got in Atlanta, I'm seeing these niggas popping with the music, and I watch these niggas do it. I'm seeing the formula over and over. I'm seeing niggas like Jeezy blew up, Gucci blew up, go from rags to riches, you hear me? So when I go back home to New Orleans, it's like around 08, I just got that passion, like, man, I'm about to go home and start some shit, get a movement popping in New Orleans. Because I felt like by me growing up in Atlanta, don't nobody really know a nigga, like, in this generation in New Orleans. Like, everybody I know this place, Hurricane Katrina, niggas done moved to Texas, niggas done moved to Atlanta. Niggas grown. It's a whole new generation on the scene for the streets, the clubs, all that type of shit. Plus, I didn't go to middle school, high school out here. You hear me? I ain't really go to middle school, high school at all, like, till later on. I skipped the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade. I didn't do none of them grades. I was in the streets. You hear me? So, boom. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, hold on, what I was going with it? Cool.
Getting that grind and that hustle.
Yeah, so, so that shit, like, seeing that and coming home, and then out here different. It ain't like Atlanta. It ain't like you got open mics to go to, DJs to break your records. So I had to like figure out a way how I'm gonna get this shit heard. I started burning CDs, bought me a CD burn at the time. CDs were popping. Fuck, getting that shit out there, selling them bitches for $1, giving some away. And it wasn't nobody else really going that hard doing that shit. That's how I got known. The nigga posted with his music, not just anybody's shit, bootleg. No, I'm selling my shit. And I used to catch motherfuckers weeks later riding by bumping my shit. It might just be 3-4 songs on the disc. It got to the point where people be like, either they ain't gonna buy it or they be like, oh, I already got that one. So I know I gotta go make some more music. You heard me? So I was slanging them bitches. And then that's just in the process of me finding my way coming back home to the city. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing what direction to go, what to do, just making music. I already got that down pat because I came from real studios, real producers. I've been blessed with that. So I had the music, but I ain't know how to just get it out there. So I'm slinging the CD, trying to get the DJs and the radio to fuck with the scene. Like, that ain't the route to go. You just gotta do you, and niggas will catch on later, which they eventually did and shit. Nigga got on Q93, you know what I'm saying? Did shit on air, on the news and all type of shit later on. But like, starting out, yeah, that what it was, just building my buzz, building my name, you know what I'm saying? Some people gonna fuck with it, some people gonna overlook it because it ain't just appealing to them. It ain't on the radio, it ain't sponsored or stamped by the next big rapper, you feel me? But, you know, real recognize real.
Real supporters though.
Yeah, real recognize real, bro. And that's the ones that count. Fuck all the ones that just flocked or whatever, you hear me? Yeah.